So the same way, while we want to create a page on Salesforce, we use a language called Visual Force. Now Visual Force is also a markup language. Okay, Salesforce is also a web-based application. So to design the pages, we have seen page layout and UI customization earlier, right? But for this thing, for our extreme customization, or to have a page exactly the way I want, to control the look and feel of the page and all that stuff, we need to design Visual Force pages. Got it? So Visual Force is a language which is pretty similar to HTML, okay, and this is also uses some of the HTML tags. Okay, so this is something which is similar to HTML, uses some of the HTML tags, and this is only meant for designing the front-end interfaces for you. Now, why would we use a programming language like Visual Force for designing the interface? So that we can have the customization to the extent that we require. With page layout and all, we just have certain limitations that you can do this, you cannot do this, and that sort of stuff, right? With programming involved, you can do everything. You can put your own custom actions, you can put your custom styling on the page, so whatever you want, you can control almost everything. Got it? And the other question is, do you know Java? Anyone? Java or any other programming language like C, C++? So how about Java or C, C++?
Java.
Java, you know? Okay. How about Sandhya?
I used, but not now.
Okay, great. I mean, if you just understand basic concepts, that's good. Apex is the programming language which is similar to Java. The syntax and all is similar to Java. And this is used for defining logics. So Visual Force is only capable of designing the interface. So the design part can take happen with the Visual Force. Okay, front end how it will look. But if you really want to put some logics which should work in the back end on the click of a button or on the save of a record or on anything else, you need to use a proper programming language, and that is something which is done by Apex. Got it? So this is the combination here. Visual Force in case you want to design an interface, Apex if you want to write a logic. So again, going back to that MVC concept, MVC. So what is MVC? What is MVC? MVC framework?
Model view controller.
Model view controller. So what is this model view controller thing? What is it?
Model is our data model.
Yes.
View is that page layout and that whatever we make with Visual Force, and controller is what we do with Apex.
Yeah, controller is basically our own logics. Okay, so what logics do work on that application? So we have a 3-layered application. The Salesforce has 3 layers. One is model, one is view, one is controller. Okay, so Visual Force data model, we do not have to do anything. Data model we know how to create and how to keep it. That's there in the backend. Visual Force is for the view layer, designing the interfaces, and Apex is for controller layer. Okay, so Apex is used for writing the logics and controlling the logics and everything. Got it? So that is how simple it is. So what I'm going to do is today we are going to create a simple Visual Force page, a very simple Visual Force page, and I will show you an example. And then from tomorrow we are actually going to do more pages on Visual Force and do a few examples and learn it. Alright. So creating a Visual Force page is very simple. It's actually going to be a new page, right, that you want to create. So before you can create a Visual Force page, you just have to switch on the VF page editor. Okay, the Visualforce page editor is an editor where you can edit the Visualforce code. Before you can create a page, you have to switch on this or turn on the editor. How do you do that? You just have to go to your personal settings. You can go to My Settings and then go to Personal, and then you can go to your Advanced User Details. Click on Edit. And you have to turn on the development mode, which is already on here. If you see that this is not on, you just have to turn it on. That's it. So your Visualforce page editor gets activated. Done. So this is the only thing that you have to do. After this, you can simply go to the URL, delete everything after salesforce.com. Okay, see how simple it is. This turning on the Visualforce page editor is one-time activity, so you will just do it once. After that, creating a page, you just have to go on to the URL, delete everything after salesforce.com, type apex, then give a slash, and then you can give a page name, which can be anything. Okay, make sure that your page name does not have a special character or it does not have a space. Okay, should not have space or special character. It can only have letters and numbers. Done. So delete everything after salesforce.com slash and then write apex and then give a slash and then write the page name. Page name can be anything, whatever you want, and press enter. Okay, doing this will throw you an error because you are trying to create this page for the first time and this page already does not exist. It throws an error. Page V1 does not exist. If this page was already there, this is the approach you will take to open an existing page or creating a page. Both the times you will do the same thing. Okay, so if the page already exists, it will open the page. But right now my page does not exist, so it throws me that error that this page does not exist, and it also gives me an option of creating this page. Okay, so let me just click on it and create the page. So this will create a custom page for me, a Visualforce page for me. So this is your new page. So I have successfully created a page. The address for this page is this /apex/v1. So this is the address where I can reach out to this page. How do we come to this page and all that stuff we'll discuss later. But we have created the page, and here is so this is the actual page content, and this is the editor at the bottom. You can just open it and you will get to see the code. So it's very similar to HTML if you see, and some tags are from HTML, like this H1 is an HTML tag itself. Okay, so see, congratulations, this is your new page. This is a comment. Let me remove the comment part. Okay, so you see that there is a start of the page, there is an end of the page, and in between that we have whatever content we want. So I can put a line break here. Whatever changes you make, you just have to click on this and save. You can also do a Control S. that will also save. Okay, so whatever changes you're making, that gets saved and that gets displayed on the actual page. What I've written, I want it in italics. See that? I want to put one more line break. Got this? So this is how you can create a page. Now in this page we will learn how do we put different components, how do we bring data into this page, and how do we customize other things, how do we bring action buttons. So that is what we are actually going to learn in this training. But what I want you to do is I just want you to understand a few basics here today, and then gradually we'll start using everything on this page. So first thing is, the Visualforce pages have components. Okay, there's something called Visualforce components. Okay, and a page is formed of these components. Sorry. Okay, so Visualforce page have these components. What is a component? This is a component, this Apex page. So this way you can have a lot of components in the page. Okay, like you want to create a table, then you'll have to bring a table component. You want to put a form, you have to bring a form component. There's a button component, there's a link component. So there are these all components. These are all called components. Okay, all these components start with Apex colon. Okay, so if you just start writing this Apex colon, you will see there is such a long list of components. These are all components in the Visualforce, okay, which we can use. Okay, so you can see there is button, there is link, there is data table, there is action support. There are so many things. Okay, so whatever component you want to call, you can call those components. The most basic component is the Apex page component, and which is the must for a Visualforce page. You have to have the Apex page component, and whatever you're putting should be inside that page component. So first and the most basic component is the Apex page component, which has to be there. Okay, and whatever you want to put inside the page has to be within these component limits. So Apex page component starts here, it ends here, and now whatever I want to put inside this should be listed here. Here. Okay, so that's about our Apex page component. Fine. Now apart from the component, there is another thing which is called an attribute. So every component here has attributes, some attributes. Okay, like for example, under Apex page component there are certain attributes. Now once you take your mouse here, you will see a list of attributes. Attributes are the attributes of those that component. For example, there is an attribute on the page which is called sidebar. So you can control whether you want to see the sidebar on the page or not. You can make sidebar equals false. So this is an attribute of the Apex page component. Okay, and you can save it. You'll see the sidebar is gone. By default it's true. If you make it false, it will not be shown. If you make it true, it will be shown. The same way, there is another attribute for the Apex page component which is called show header. The show header will remove the header from here. See, there is no header. Got that? So these are called attributes. So we will be dealing with the page Visualforce components, and we will be dealing with the attributes in the component. So basically an attribute is used to control how a component will appear on the page. So that is what an attribute does. Clear? Okay. Then the other thing that I want you to understand, so component and attribute concept clear to everyone? So there are a lot of component and each component has their own attributes. Okay, so like if it's a table component, then there are attributes related to the table component. What all are the attributes for a table? If it's a form component, then there are attributes related to the form component. So once we start doing examples, you will understand. But I just want you to understand this component and attribute concept here. Okay, so we will use attributes and components. Okay, so we'll use Visualforce components and their attributes. We will also use HTML tags here. Okay, so for people who have not been in touch with HTML or just have some basic idea of HTML, I'm going to recommend you a link that's called w3schools.com. I think you must be aware of this link already. Just go to this, click on Learn HTML. Okay, and you can quickly do a brush up of your HTML tags thing. Okay, so quickly you can check how HTML tags are and how they are used and everything. Most of these things are most of these things can be used in your Visualforce. Okay, these HTML components, HTML tags. In HTML we call them tags. Okay, so the way they are making their text bold, italic and all that stuff, these things can be used in Visualforce page. All right. So I would suggest that if you do not have that much of a connect with HTML, then you can always take out some time and go through it. I don't think you need to spend more than a couple of hours on this. 2 hours is also too much. I think 1 hour should be fine. You can spend on this website and you will have good understanding of some of the HTML tags and all. Correct? So we use these Visualforce components, we use the attributes of those components here, we use HTML tags here. So rather an activity for you or an assignment for you today would be that create a Visualforce page and try to put as many HTML tags as possible inside this, right? So like I've used h1, which is an HTML tag, line break is an HTML tag, I is an HTML tag. So this way you can try to put as many HTML tags as possible into your Visualforce page. And you can show me what you designed using HTML tags only. Okay. Just one component of Visualforce, which is Apex page component, because that's mandatory. You cannot create a page without this. Rest, try to put all HTML tags and design the page. Okay. Now the next concept that I want you to understand is we have markups and controllers. So on a Visualforce page we have markups and we have controllers. Okay, markup is what we see. Okay, so the components that we can see in the page. Okay, things which are basically present on the page. So that can be a text, that can be image, that can be a button, that can be table, form, section, area, whatever. Okay, so that is markup. Controller is controlling logics that we don't see, but those are there controlling the things. So you will not see a controlling logic, but that will automatically keep on controlling the page. Okay. So in Visualforce page, while you design the page, you have to define the markups as well as controllers. So you just cannot define the user interface components and you cannot just leave it like that. You also have to define what will be the controlling logics in the backend and stuff, right? So that's about the controller part. Got it? So we have markups and then we have controllers here. Okay. Now there are different types of controller that we will use during the training that we are going to do. I'll just tell you the what all different types of controllers are there, and we will get into discussion of controller maybe in tomorrow's session. So there are 4 types of controllers that we use. One is a standard controller. Second one is a standard list controller. Third is a custom controller. Fourth is a extension. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what do we have? We have standard controller, we have standard list controller, custom controller, and extension controller, right? So these are the 4 different types of controllers that we are going to use in our Visualforce pages. We'll go one by one. So in the next session we'll start with the standard controller. We'll start talking about that. Okay. So far this page that I'm using is just it's just a collection of markups. There is no controlling logic, right? At this point of time it just has markups, only text being displayed. There is no logic which I've put, right? So at present it's just markup page. So your active assignment will also be to create a page which just has markups. You can use HTML tags. Okay, so go to W3 Schools, read some of the HTML tags, use them on this Visualforce page. Okay, and once we meet tomorrow, we are going to discuss on the standard controller. We'll start with the standard controller thing, and we'll start creating page there. Okay, we'll start connecting it with the database and all that stuff. So we'll learn. Visualforce is super easy, so you don't have to worry about that. You just saw that, right? Apex is also easy. I mean, there's nothing very difficult in Apex as well, right? So fine. Tell me if we have any questions. I think I'm done from my side.